This is a stronger, more seductive take on the original. So let's review Ralph Lauren's Polo 67 EDP. Yo, what's up guys? Hunter here and welcome back to the channel. We're uploading weekly fragrance content, so you know the drill. Hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any future videos. And be sure to follow me over on my Instagram page. But today in my hands is the brand new hot off the shelves Ralph Lauren fragrance Polo 67 Eau de Parfum, guys. Now, honestly, I was a big fan of the original Polo 67 when it came out. And I've kind of been anticipating a flanker of it, and it's finally here in the EDP version. So if you were like me and were also a huge fan of Polo 67, this is gonna be something you want on your radar. But first, I do wanna shout out Ralph Lauren for sending this over for review. Of course, that's not gonna change my opinions. If I enjoy it, I enjoy it. If I don't, I don't, and I'll make that clear. So let's go with some information. Now, this was, of course, launched in 2025. It just came out like this month at the time of this recording, so it's brand spanking new. For the retail price, only two sizes this comes in, which is a 75 ml for $105, or you get the 125 ml like I have in hand for $130, which honestly, that's a very good price, especially at retail. And as we know, these usually do hit discounters pretty soon after they initially release. The concentration, of course, is an Eau de Parfum. This is Polo 67 EDP, so it is a little bit more concentrated than the original. The perfumer is the same nose that made the original Polo 67, Marie Salamange, who's actually a very respected, well-known perfumer in the game, so she is behind this one. For me, I always kind of despise when brands use new perfumers for flankers. I always think they should use the same person that made the original to also make the flankers of the original, and they definitely did that with this. Now, with all the information out of the way, let's look at the packaging and presentation you get with the new EDP now. All right, so unfortunately, we're only gonna be looking at the bottle today since I don't have the box, but the bottle is very similar to the original. Besides, this has a nice kind of metallic polo on the front, which I actually dig much more. On the bottom, you do have your sticker with your batch code to authenticate your product and see when it was actually produced. Nothing on the back. You have the same kind of cap with the Ralph Lauren. However, this one is in that silver finish rather than the matching blue, which I like as well. RL on the top. Nothing inside of the cap, nothing on the atomizer, and it does click into place very, very securely. I love this bottle design. In the top, you have bergamot, cardamom, and mandarin orange. In the mid, you have cypress, pineapple, lavender, and sesame seeds. And in the base, you have benzoin, cedarwood, and vetiver, and this will be classified as a sweet fruity. So let's spray this and test out this atomizer. Pretty good atomizer, actually. It might even be improved compared to the original because that sprayed a ton of juice. And as you guys can see by that note breakdown, there is some differences between this and the OG that I can't wait to talk about. Right away in the opening, you will notice a few differences between this and the original, and I'm all for it because in the opening of this one, you're gonna get a burst of the citrusy bergamot and that kind of green, fruity mandarin orange combination right away. Very fresh and citrusy. My favorite part about this opening is the spicy, seductive cardamom that they did include, which is a departure from the OG, and I'm all for it. I love cardamom. It's one of the sexiest spices that can be used in fragrances, in my opinion, and you get a burst of it. So this one definitely goes more so in that spicy, seductive realm compared to like the aquatic freshness of the original. And it also includes that fruity mandarin, which is kind of like this green mandarin is what I'm detecting. That is also a difference. But yeah, the opening is so much better than Polo 67, guys, and that's coming from somebody that was actually a big fan of that one. As we make our way into the mid, you are gonna get that signature sweet, fruity pineapple that this DNA is known for, but it's not the kind of pineapple you find in something like aventus. This particular one goes more into that sweet fruity pineapple rather than like a tart pineapple like in those. Alongside the pineapple, you are going to get this very aromatic lavender note that is actually a little bit spicy in and of itself, mixed together with this very fresh herbaceous cypress note, which is also another addition to this scent profile. This actually goes more so in that green, spicy, warm realm compared to the fresher aquatic take from the original. And this one is far more up my alley. Then finally in the base is where it starts to become very warm and woody, mostly coming from that benzoin, which is very resinous and almost vanillic as well. I do kind of get this creamy vanilla feel in the dry down, and I'm assuming it's mostly coming from that benzoin, but mixed together with the cedarwood, which also brings a nice warmth to the composition. I know the original, I believe, had like sandalwood. It had a very heavy dose of like this fresh green kind of vetiver as well in the base. Vetiver is also listed in the EDP, but I'm not really detecting much of it. The benzoin and that cedar wood absolutely take over the vetiver completely in the dry down, which I'm not complaining about whatsoever because I love the way this one actually dries down. So a pretty big departure from the original Polo 67, even though it does share some similarities. I think this is a much better fragrance. So for the best seasons to rock the new EDP, guys, this is actually a much more signature-worthy, versatile fragrance as well compared to the OG. I can picture myself wearing this one all 4 seasons, fall and winter, especially because of that kind of woody, resinous, warm, dry down. It works perfectly in the colder weather, but also like the spring and summer because of how fresh, fruity, and citrusy the opening is. So if you are looking for a new designer signature scent worthy fragrance, this is one I would absolutely recommend. I know the original Polo 67 kind of suited more so like the spring and summer because it was much fresher and aquatic. So if you like that one, thought it was a little bit too fresh for the colder weather, absolutely do yourself a favor and get your hands on the EDP. When it comes to occasion, this one is still more so of a casual leaning fragrance at the end of the day. It does give me casual vibes, possibly slightly more formal than the original at least, but still very, very casual. The kind of fragrance I would wear in a t-shirt, shorts, some jeans, a hoodie, etc. Maybe out running errands, going to like a sporting event. It kind of does give me sporty vibes. Just not something I would really picture myself wearing a suit while wearing this fragrance, but you probably could if you really wanted to. And it goes along the lines of being a signature scent worthy, which most of the time works for like all occasions and all seasons. Just for me, I have far better formal fragrances that I would reach for, but I could still see this one being able to pull that attire off. Now for gender, this is definitely a masculine smelling fragrance, at least to my nose. I know it is targeted towards the men as well, but at the end of the day, that's not always kind of like determining factor. But when it comes to the smell, it definitely is very masculine. And I even think this leans more masculine than the OG Polo 67. Just because of the added resins, the warmth, the coziness about it. Yeah, just not something I would want to smell on my girl per se. But hey, if you are a lady watching this, you liked Polo 67, you wear that one, you could still check this out. Now, when it comes to age groups, I kind of always pictured Polo 67 as more of a youthful leaning fragrance. Even though it could be youthful and mature, I do see this one as youthful and mature as well, but this one actually is kind of a more grown-up Polo 67, if you know what I mean. It's a fragrance that means business, but not too much business, which I know doesn't really make much sense, but that's kind of what I'm picturing when I smell this. Maybe a younger guy transitioning into a full-on adult, maybe like 25, 30 and up, whereas like Polo 67 could definitely be a teenager fragrance. This one does give me more like mid-20s to early 30s. But hey, whatever age you are and you enjoy this fragrance, wear it. There's nothing saying you can't. I'm just trying to paint you guys the absolute best picture with it, which definitely gives me mid-20s, early 30s and up. Now, wrapping the review off, talking on the performance you should expect from Polo 67 EDP. Now, as we guys all assume, being a more kind of concentrated flanker, you expect better performance, and thank goodness, guys, Ralph Lauren delivered on that. Because if I recall, I got around 6 hours of longevity from the original, at least from what I remember when I reviewed it. This one, however, is gonna get you upwards to that 8-hour mark of longevity, so it is a little bit better. It should get you through like a full 8-hour work shift, maybe a full kind of 8-hour school shift, etc., without having to reapply it, which is also good because the dry down on this one is stunning, and you're gonna be left with that for hours. So a respectable improvement when it comes to the performance. I know the performance wasn't necessarily the worst thing with the original, but hey, any more to the longevity, I'm all for. Also, when it comes to the projection, I always got very solid, like loud projection from the original. It's no different with the EDP either. Very, very good projection where most of the people around you will be able to detect you. This will get you a ton of attention and compliments. It has that kind of crowd pleasing factor about it. It's not off-putting whatsoever. So trust me, you will get some attention. And when you walk around, people are going to be left in this kind of seductive, sexy cardamom trail, especially after like the first 1 or 2 hours after applying it. Yeah, it definitely has that attention factor about it, believe me. No, I got compliments with the original, and I can definitely see getting compliments with this as well, if not even maybe more, because the ladies love sweet, fruity, spicy fragrances, and this one, it definitely delivers that. But that's gonna do it for my review of the brand new launch Polo 67 EDP. Let me know down below if you guys had the chance to try this one, if you're a fan of the original Polo 67, and if you are trying to get your hands on it as well. We'll discuss all that in the comments below. So definitely one of the better designer launches so far in 2025, and I've had so many of the new ones come through. Some not so great and some great, and this one it definitely lives up to that great side. But besides that, leave a like, subscribe below if you guys haven't already, and of course I'll catch all of you back here in my next upload. Take care everybody.